Have you ever yelled at someone in anger? Was it your spouse, your child, your co-worker, a neighbor, a friend, or even a stranger? Namaskaram and welcome back. In this edition, I decided to share with you one of my original writings called Trigger. Now, what is a trigger? A trigger could be a person or a situation whose behavior or outcome provoke our emotions, most often to react in a negative way. Why does that happen? While we may be blaming people, while we may be thinking our children are not acting and behaving how we expect them to or how we train them to, they are not really the real reasons for this. Think about it. If someone external, if your child, a stranger, your colleague, is behaving in a way that decide how you feel and react within yourself, what do you call that? Isn't that some form of slavery? How could somebody who doesn't live within you, how could something external decide how you feel within yourself? Well, I classify 4 different reasons why this happened. One is, of course, ignorance. Our ignorance. Very often, we do not have insight into our senses and how they behave or respond to situations depending on what is happening around us. Another reason is we have hold unrealistic expectations for others. This is very common in intimate relationships. This include like between husband and wife, parent and their children, or co-workers, or neighbors, or friends. Most often, we have held so high expectations of the people we are so close to. We have defined a way in our head, in our mind, within ourselves, how we want them to behave, that when they don't behave this way, we are provoked to react differently in a negative way. Why this happens? Whether it's your husband, whether it's your child, whether it's your colleague, it's very, very unrealistic for us to expect them to think and do things as we want them to do. I have been a victim of this. In the past, I would always nag and complain when my husband threw things around the house. One day, as I started yelling, he held my hand. "Come here." Went around the house, holding my hand, pointing one place to the next. "What is this? What is that? Who put this there?" I look at it and thought, oh my gosh, within myself. I look into his eyes, he look at me. You know, like when you are caught stealing, that's how I felt. Could you imagine that? Most of the time, we don't see our own blind spot. We are so busy thinking about the wrongs of other people that we do not see our own wrong. We don't see our own fault. We don't see where we are making our own mistakes. We are just busy pointing fingers and looking for fault in others. Next time, before you react or respond to someone when they don't meet your expectation, pause and see if yourself you are not a victim. Very often, we easily justify and give reasons why we have failed to meet our own expectations, but we so easily judge and condemn others, blaming them, calling them names when they don't meet our own expectations. Is that fair? The third reason why this may happen is unexpected outcome or result. This form of trigger is very common in sport events like football, or where you thought maybe your team is going to win and they don't win, and all of a sudden trigger some kind of emotions within you that makes you react. Most often people regret their reactions, their attitude at the end. Why some of them still remain defensive? The fourth reason why this may happen is lack of self-discipline or self-control. Here we are ruled by the ego and senses. We have become compulsive and reactive to almost everything. Not knowing the true essence of our beings, we have chosen compulsion over consciousness. Hence, we are slaves to our own thought, our own emotions, our actions. We don't look at what we do. We don't see and try to analyze what the result or impact will be. We do not pause to think what will happen if I take this decision, if I take this course of action, if I react like this, how will this impact my personality, how will this impact my integrity, how will this impact my behavior, how will this impact my children, how will this impact my environment, how will this impact the person I am reacting to. We just giving. We are ruled by our emotions. We've become slaves to our own emotions and thoughts. In the coming edition, we will look at the layers of our building block to help us understand why things happened or why we behave the way we do, and what they are, and how we can use them for our own advantage. How we can use to direct our thought, our emotions, whatever we are feeling within us, how we can use these senses for our own growth and well-being. Thank you for watching. See you next Friday.